Patrick. It's really good to speak to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm really happy to also share some of my key learnings and experiences to the new batch of students, because I know it could be a little bit of a struggle, especially if you don't have any work experience. You want to try to get a sense of how it feels like to be working, and especially with the pandemic, to be working from home. And yeah, so I'll try my best to share some of the tips.
That's great. No, I really appreciate that. So just for the viewers, Ruan, you graduated from our Masters in Marketing in 2019.
Yes,
And you're currently working with Accenture, but on site in Pinterest.
exactly.
As a small to medium business partner manager. Is that right? Did I get the title
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, great. So I was just thinking we'd start by maybe if you could tell the students a bit about your career since you graduated, because I know you did a couple of internships and then moved on to Accenture. So just tell us a little bit about that journey. Would be interesting.
Yeah, I remember when I was writing my graduation thesis, I didn't really spend much time finding part-time jobs or internships, because at that time I wasn't really thinking about work. So I just want to wholeheartedly focus on my thesis. But after that, there is some pressure, especially when you hear your classmates they've all landed on some full-time jobs, and you just started job hunting. So there might be quite some stress. So I think if if you are able to manage in terms of time and energy, to kind of juggle two balls at the same time, to kind of focus on not only your thesis but also job hunting, you should start as soon as possible. But in my case, because previously I didn't really have much tangible work experience, so it even made the situation harder for me. So what I did was I was just telling myself, it's a fact that I didn't really have much experience, so I probably need to start from ground zero. So I just started to apply to internships, and I found one internship through Glassdoor. And then after I was working for that company, because I only work in the mornings for that company, and in the afternoons I was literally free. So another tip that comes up with this is to try to keep in contact with your class, with your friends, with the people who are on the same boat, or perhaps a little bit more experienced than you, because you will get a lot of inspiration from these people. And I actually got my second internship opportunity through a classmate, and she has already landed on a brilliant job in Facebook right now. And at that time, yeah, at that time she just referred me to a local Irish jewelry company, and they were actually looking for someone to manage their digital marketing side of things. So luckily I had the interview with the lady, and got into the team. So at that time I was I was working two internships, one in the morning and another one in the afternoon. So
Okay, very good. Yeah.
kind of making up for all the time when I didn't really care about work when writing the thesis.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just worked in these two jobs for about 3 months, and I just spotted that Accenture offer, and I was really desperate, because I don't really I because at that time, if you don't have much experience, you don't know whether you are a good fit for a specific position. Like, for example, if someone who has like 5 years of experience, they pretty much know what to expect in the job interview, and they can also just scan through the job description and have a just idea of what is expected. But at that time, I just didn't know anything, and I just went into the job interview, and luckily, because I've done some kind of projects, like real-time projects in these internships. I was able to talk about these things, and somehow I remember the interviewer told me that he thought that at that time I had a lot of things to learn, but he also spotted that I have a learning mindset and a successful academic path. So he believed in my learning capacities. That's how he got me in the team. And I have to say that I was really thankful. Uh, and I really learned a lot as well during the 11-month working in this Accenture Pinterest position. And also, I think I wouldn't have achieved so much growth if I didn't get into that job. So sometimes it's just you just meet some really awesome people who really appreciate you. So maybe because before that I was having a lot of trouble getting into interviews. I would send many applications, but didn't get any response and didn't get invited into interviews. So maybe sometimes you don't really need to feel frustrated, because it may not be that because you were not capable that these companies were not contacting. Maybe it's because of other things. Little details could make them just reject you, or it could be a turn off. But it may not have anything to do with you as a person or with your capabilities. So one thing that I learned with this sales career, because I'm now account manager, so also managing the sales aspect, of course, because I have to build the partnership relationships. So one thing that I learned in this sales career is you have to always push forward. And for example, if people don't contact you, you just follow up. And if you get no response, just keep follow up. But don't just spam people. Just follow up at least 3 times, like, because people are busy. Like my contacts, they could be so busy that they don't even look at my emails. So I think this is really something that I get trained mentally to kind of be accepted to all the rejections. Of course, there is still a long way to go, because I've only been in this position for 11 months. But I totally think that this is just a subtle mindset switch that is going to kind of open a new world to you. So sometimes I see people posting on LinkedIn complaining about they're ghosted for interviews and stuff like that. And I think having a sales career and sales experience really helped me prepare myself for these things. So because in a sales call, it's very common that the prospect just ghosts you. Like you have to be able to just accept it and just move on. So yeah, it's definitely something that I learned.
So you kind of built up. You become more resilient as a consequence of your
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And so the tip you'd give to new students is to be resilient with the job search. Apply the same principles that you've learned as a consequence of your time in your current role.
Exactly. And just if you don't have any experience, there's it's not wrong to start from zero. Like you don't really need to focus on earning money that much, especially at the start of the career. What you only want to focus on is to grow your CV and to get more live projects onto your curricula, so that you can really talk about these things. Because I suppose now with the pandemic, it's even it's even harder for some of the new students to in terms of job hunting. So having some tangible experience really will add up to your total credibility, your total I don't know, employability and strength. Yeah, for sure.
And so would you say that your internships were beneficial then in sort of learning, but also opening doors into future opportunities?
Yeah, totally. And I remember when I was doing the internship, because I was the only intern there. So I got invited to a lot of the business events as well. Like my employ not my employer, but my boss would just he has a lot of friends and connections who knows a lot of people in Facebook and stuff, and they would hold these conferences or like tech conferences, and my boss would just give me the invitation or the free pass, and then so I can just go in and really meet new people, and yeah, these experiences really opened the doors. So I really think that internship experience benefited me a lot.
Okay, yeah. And so you think networking has been important for you as well in terms of your career progression?
Exactly, exactly. And the best networking happens with people who are closer to you. So your classmates, your families, or maybe your landlords, they might have some connections as well. So people who really know you, because to me, it's kind of harder to impress someone who has zero contact with me before.
Mm.
Because if you just go straight up to somebody and just start talking within 5 or 15 minutes, it's actually a very difficult job to impress someone. Of course, I know there are people who are specialized in doing elevator pitch or stuff like
Yeah.
that, but it's definitely hard. So I would say if you have already got some resources, you already know people around you, maybe they've been working on the same project with you, either in some school project or some later in some career projects, then definitely utilize that connection and network, and also provide value as well. So if you can do anything for other people, you also just kind of, it's more like you scratch my back, I scratch yours
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah,
So sometimes you don't really need to belittle yourself and think, oh, I'm just a newbie and there's nothing I can offer to people. Like everyone is equal, and you can just put yourself in the equal position as the other person that you're talking to, and you also have some strength that I'm sure will help other people as well.
okay. That's some really good advice. And I suppose as an international student coming to Ireland, what was your experience like from maybe a lot of international students joining us now in the next number of weeks? How was that experience for you?
Um, are you referring to the studying experience in Trinity or the job hunting experience in Dublin?
Let's say the job hunting experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say for an international students, it's very important to really speak English fluently. So do spend a lot of time practicing English, because if you cannot get your thoughts conveyed appropriately, then it's very hard for the interviewer to really judge your qualities or scores. And sometimes you should be able to crack a few jokes as well, just
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
because otherwise
Yeah.
it just gets too robotic and too monotonous. Like
Yeah.
these interviews can be boring, and it's very hard for you to stand out. So
Yeah.
just be yourself, and don't think that it's like don't think that work environment is so serious. Like sometimes you also need to be able to appreciate jokes and really show your personality.
Yeah.
So this is the definitely one thing. So and the communication side of things. So the second thing is, I suppose, if you can get some work experience before coming to a foreign environment, then definitely do that, because once you are fresh off the boat, you're basically on your own, and if you don't have much experience, it's a bit hard. Like in my case, I did feel the pain. So if you can somehow get some work experience before coming here, definitely in your home country, in your home base, in your home environment, just get that. And then
So you were just telling me about your experience as an international student arriving here. It's a good idea to try and get some experience before you come here because you felt that you struggled a bit without having that little bit of experience behind you, which is some good advice as well.
exactly.
I think as well it'd be really interesting to hear a bit about what what do you do in your current position? What does a typical day look like for you in your current role?
Yeah, so my current role really focuses on firstly is building new partner relationships, and also to maintain my existing relationship as well. So I believe that tech sales is not strictly sales,
Mm.
because tech sales is a lot about relationship building and just helping clients to grow and to scale. So in this sense, what I typically do is in the mornings I will have calls with clients, and in the afternoons, I'll just do research to prepare for tomorrow's calls. I'll do product research. I'll do industry research. I'll check what's going on in the marketing world, and also just prepare if clients have campaigns to launch. I'll also do the pre-launch research as well, and also answer their queries. So if they have any tech issues, or they are experiencing any difficulties when using product, I will just help them to liaise with the product team and also the support team. And sometimes I'll also do some of the support job. So it's more of like a working in a cross-functional team to get the product smoothly delivered.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you're working across different areas. It's not just purely selling. It's quite varied, which is interesting. It's good to know that.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's this product knowledge part, and also this sales part, and also this communication part that really are like three pillars.
Okay, and I suppose just towards to finish as well, be curious to know, do you have what are your ambitions or next moves or next plans in terms of your career? What are you where are you hoping to go now from your current position?
Yeah, like I've been thinking about my future career path as well. And one thing that I find myself kind of stopping a little bit, or just mentally just stagnate a little bit when after I land in a full-time job. But I think this will be kind of dangerous because you shouldn't really stop. And I think, especially as a digital marketer in this ever-changing field, there's never going to be like a point where you think you've already known enough. And definitely, I think next step for me is to keep growing as a digital marketer, apart from being a salesperson. So my career is more of a salesperson. So I sometimes I can get lost in my sales job, that I didn't really spend enough time to grow my digital marketing expertise, or
Yeah.
to keep up to date, or because Google have been updating their Google Analytics or Google Ads, and Facebook and other key media platforms have been doing the same as well. So
Yeah.
every year it's different. So every year you have to keep pushing and relearn and redo all the information collecting, and also to really keep yourself in touch with what is changing and what is different. For example, recently Apple just launched is about to launch iOS 14, which
Hmm.
will ban the use of IDFA, which is device identification for iOS users. So this is a big news in the digital marketing industry, which might disable a large part of the tracking at the back end. So things like that, like just be, you have to be on top of these things,
Yeah.
and also grow a digital marketing expertise. For example, are you comfortable that you can deal with codes, for example, in terms of front end web development things? Because as a digital marketer, you have to be able to talk uh, to the web developers.
Yeah.
So are you comfortable doing that? And in the back end, are you comfortable analyzing loads of data? Like, how is your Excel skills? Are they up to the point? So there are loads of things that, as a digital marketer, you can always grow. And
Mm.
I think it's very dangerous to kind of think that once you've got a 9 to 5 job, you're basically secure, because because it's totally wrong. Like
Yeah.
with the pandemic and the world's changing, so definitely never stop. That's my tip, and I'm also trying to push myself to execute this tip as well.
Yeah, it's good. But never stop learning. Never stop developing your
Exactly,
CV. Yeah.
exactly.
Look, that's fantastic. That's some really good advice that you've imparted today. So, I think on behalf of the students who are incoming, I'd like to thank you because I think it's really good advice, really practical advice that was helpful for me as well as the students. So I'm going to stop the recording now. If you just want to stay on the line for a few minutes while I stop this, that'd be great.
Yeah,
But thanks again for helping us.
no worries, Patrick.